Hi, my name is Josh Davis. I'm the head boys basketball coach at Camanche High School. We've been fortunate to have a few good years, last few years, and I just want to share some of our zone offense stuff that we've been doing, a lot of our zone motion with you tonight. So, um, what we'll do is just talk a few minutes on a couple of philosophy things I have, and then show you some practice footage of how we kind of put it into our system, and then some game footage where you can see kind of how it looks against a real live defense. So the biggest thing I think, as a high school coach getting ready for zone offense is just really be familiar with the zone. I came from playing at a bigger 4A school and then playing small college and then to coach in small college. So a lot of my formative stuff was against a half court man to man. That's all we ever played as a player on defense. It's all we ever went against as a player offensively. So when I came to a smaller division of high school basketball, first time we played, I saw box and one, triangle and two, 2-3, 1-2-2, and really I was lost on how to attack it. So I think the biggest thing is familiarize yourself with the zone, and I think as a mentality for yourself to figure out a way to break it, not belittle the coach that's running the zone. I think at an earlier age, I would just tell our guys, they're playing zone because they can't guard us. Just take it to them. And it was really just doing our kids a disservice rather than trying, all right, how can we dissect the zone and put it on ourselves, not just use that old mentality of they just can't guard, so they're going to go to the zone. There's a lot of good zones out there, and they're effective and they're gaining traction. I think the longer that coaches just stay in the mentality of, oh, it's just a zone defense, we can beat it, or not putting value in the zone defense, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. So I think that when you're looking at zone offense and how you want to set it up, I think for sure, familiarize yourself with the zone and then figure out where you want to put your best offensive players. I think, one of the best things I've heard about zone offense is, in a man-to-man defense, the defense gets to dictate who guards who. In zone defense, the offense gets to dictate who guards who. So take a look at the scouting, where are the team's weak spots, where are your strong spots, and try to get yourself in those areas to attack a weaker defender with your best players. If they have a spot where they have a guy that doesn't guard very well, put your best offensive player in that area and let him go to work a little bit. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, and get away from the traditional. What I've really tried to do the last few years in our zone offense is do things that the other team doesn't practice against. Put your guys in situations and areas that they don't see in practice. If you just line it up, 3 out, 2 in, and just pass the ball around, you play right into their hands. You got to do things that they don't practice against and see regularly to make them think a little bit on defense. So the other thing that I would recommend doing is adding, even if you're a man-to-man team, in your open gyms in the summers and the off season, every few games, have your teams play 2-3 zone, and that'll get them moving on their own and learn how to attack. I think play all of our open gyms man-to-man. Our preseason stuff is man-to-man defense, and then we get to games and we struggle. As youth teams, everything's man-to-man. You don't let them play zone in youth leagues, and so they get to high school and they're seeing zone and they just stand there. So I think the youth levels, we're having our kids play zone every few games to learn how to attack it, and I think in high school as well. Your open gyms. You have an hour open gym, you're playing 6-7 games, 2 or 3 of those better be against zone. And also, if you're playing competitive 2-on or 5-on-5 games, the players playing the zone will be more apt to do that in 5-on-5 open gyms than they are sometimes even in practice, when you have your scout team defense out there that you can do it. So the other thing is look ahead and see how many teams, are going to be playing zone. That was a error I made. Starting out coaching high school, I had all this stuff for our main offense, and then 80% of the teams we play are playing the zone. So you got to make sure that you're putting the amount of time into your zone offense, comparative to how many teams are going to play it. Now, you don't know 100% certainty where you're going to go, but you can have an idea of, hey, the first 4 teams you're playing, they're all man-to-man. Okay, make sure you have some zone stuff ready to go when you play that zone team. But if you're playing teams early on that are playing zone, you better have it ready to go. And I think For us, we don't have a lot of sets. We try to do a lot more motion. But of the sets we have, I bet 90% of them are zone sets. So we have zone motion. Let's say we have 10 plays in a year. We don't really have very many offensive plays. But if we have 10 plays, 9 of those would be zone plays almost, so that we can attack the zone if we get stagnant and our zone motion just not getting where we need. We had to force some action. So you want to have that balance between concepts and sets, both those things. So I'm going to share my screen here, and so you can see some of our stuff. So this is I had some kids come and work on some zone stuff for us the other day. So these are a lot of our younger kids putting in some zone stuff. So one end we'll have our guards, the other end we'll have our bigs, and then on the guards, first thing we'll do is just a dribble entry. And I think a lot of what we do stems from this dribble entry. And we want to force matchups on the backside. So we dribble entry to the right, so we get the matchup that we want on the left. Okay, so the first drill that we'll do is just offensively, just dribble the wing. Okay, and this inside guy just makes a shallow cut right up in here. And the first time we're just catching and shooting and keeping it going there. So dribble, pass, shoot. Okay, next group is going. So when we start doing our shooting stuff, we'll just say, hey, we're doing zone shooting, and our guys get to these spots, they know that we're doing zone shooting. On the other side, we got our bigs. And on the far side over here, we got the guards dribbling over. So our rule for the bigs, okay, if we're in the short corner and there's a dribble at us, we want to get into that high post area up in here, not down the block, not at the high point, or kind of the area where they might not practice, and really put some pressure on this post player to guard a little bit further away. So on a dribble over, we're going to step up high in this area. So on that side, that's what we're doing. On the back side, on the closest side to us, on a pass, you need to go from the post area to the short corner so you can rip and go by. So you can get both those reps one at a time, one step in there, the other side stepping on a pass to the short corner, ripping and going baseline. And if you can rip and go baseline from the short corner, I think that's a powerful tool for your zone offense. And trying to get, it doesn't have to be your post players down here too. Now we're working on post, but I think we've gotten our point guards down to the short corner in the past. You know, the short corner defense is going to be, our short corner is going to be guarded by their post. So if we can get an athletic 1, 2, or 3 man in that short corner area and attack the other team's post player, get them in foul trouble, I think that's a good weapon. So the next thing we'll do over here, okay, is we'll just catch and attack. And our wing rules are when the ball gets to the high post, whether on a drive or a catch, these guys got to get to the corners. We got to flatten out the defense when the ball gets to the high post. And when you're setting up game to game, different teams will guard that high post in different ways. So, you know, sometimes on a catch of the high post, the bottom guy will come up and guard a one-on-one. Sometimes they'll leave that post down there and they'll let this guy just live with shots at the high post area. And it's an effective tool. Teams don't practice that shot very often. Some teams just give it to you. Some teams will take their 2 top defenders and they'll get in this area and defend. And sometimes they'll just trap all over. You know, if we have a good player there, when we catch it with a good player, there's going to be 3 guys on him. So these guys got to move and make and create closeouts. And I think that when we're setting up our man offense, we really want to make sure we can create as many closeouts for the defense as possible. We know the defense, the hardest thing to do is close out on a live shooter. So we need to create those same closeouts in our zone offense. So here's just the next progression on our stuff. We're just dribble entry, get to that top area, attack, and then kick out to that 3-point area for shots there. We're just going through. And when we have a regular practice, we'll have, you know, maybe a little bit better intensity and some things. We'll have all the baskets going with guards getting this action. We really want to just drill it into these guys that we're a dribble entry to the wing. And when we start putting it all together, you'll see kind of why we do this dribble entry stuff. But create a matchup on one side for our mismatch on the other side. The next thing we do with our bigs, we'll flash them. We like to flash from the outside, from the inside out. Okay, so the ball gets to the top, we're going to flash, rip, and a lot of times we got to flash, we got to rip and go to the opposite side. So right now we're catching here, We're flashing from the left. We're going to catch, rip, and go. And again, we got to be able to shoot it from there and drive it from there. Flash, rip. And again, teams are going to give you these shots. We got to be able to knock them down. We'll add a third player to our guard stuff now. So now we're going to dribble entry. And our backside, this guy has the choice now. So on this catch here, unless you're wide open, okay, you got to get the ball to this backside. What we want to do here is make this backside forward decide who he's going to guard. Is he going to guard our player in the short corner, whoever that may be, or is he going to get out to a shooter? Okay, so this guy's rule is if the forward stays down, it's got to be a shot or a drive this gap to the middle. All right, if that bottom guy comes out, it's mandatory in our stuff we talk about in our motion. If this bottom forward steps out, we have to throw it down here to the short corner. And then what we'd like to have, if our opposite post is flash in this area here, okay, now we have a closeout from a big going down and a rip over there. But it starts with this action up here. So right now we're just going to catch and shoot, start off. We got an attack there, but we want to be catching and shooting to start off the action. Catch, shoot, and go. And as we get more technical in it with our players, we're going to have this guy stand with our hand out wide. Okay, and this guy's got to deliver the ball to our outside shoulder, so we're not getting this ball tipped and deflections in the zone. We're not doing a very good job of that right now. One action, sometimes we won't have a post player in this bottom area. We want to drive, and just like man or zone, baseline drive, this guy's got to drift down to the baseline. So that'll be the next part of what we do in our guard series. We're just going to give you some of these actions that we get to build it up. Then I'll show you some game clips against the defense. Here we're getting 2 shots for our bigs, and that was not a very good post-to-post pass from our young guy there. But we're just there. Okay, when he catches it here, our partner's got to get under the rim. And so right now we're just going to deliver the ball high to high, and then get a second shot from our bigs. That's a young post that's got to just get a little bit better on how we're going to pass the ball in the zone. Now this is we added this last couple of years. So this is really for the bottom guy. Okay, so we have a flash there, and we're going to drive it. He's going to miss it on purpose. He's going to kind of throw it off the backboard. This guy's got to get opposite, then find the ball for an offensive putback. He's got to find the ball. We don't want to bring it down, but we're just working on the actions right now. Drive it, high point it, get it back up there, and finish. And now we got it. We'll have a coach here, or maybe a freshman post player. We don't need in the drill right now. So now we're working on the dribble entry. All right, so we got the dribble entry to the wing, reversal, and now we're throwing into that post player. Okay, we'd like to have a little bit wider out in this area here. But now this guy's pass is going to get to the original ball handler. We'll get the shot. Again, we like that pass going from forehead to forehead. Okay, we see one of our older kids is there now. He has his outside hand up. So we dribble this over. He does a good job again. His outside hand. Okay, the ball's got to go to the outside hand, and we step into our shooting area from there. So we want to get that there. Make sure the ball does not get tipped by the zone defense. Hey, that group, go again. Here we're just talking to him about getting that outside hand up. All right, now we're just kind of walking through, and this will be really bad 2-3 zone defense. But just I want to show you some 5-on-5 concepts and what we're looking for, and then when we get into the game, we'll see some of the actions that we're looking for. So we have that drive to the wing. It forces this defender to play him. Okay, so and you see our big. He went from down low to that mid post area on a drive. Okay, so we're really getting maybe a double team right there on our big, which is okay. If this defender follows out a shooter here, this area is open for a backside flash. So if we get that action, okay, typically our wing right there, they won't let him have that shot. If he does, great. Okay, but if he were to step out, the middle to step out, if the backside guy steps, okay, you'll have that post. If the middle guy steps, if this post player does a good job of pinning his backside, he'll have him for a high-low on that backside flash. We'll look at that one more time. So this is kind of why we get that dribble entry. We force it here, and then we'll read that backside here. If we have a flash, we'll get that flash right there and take advantage of that area. So now we'll take a look and see if he doesn't take the bait, if he doesn't come in there. Now it's a quick reversal, outside hand, what we're looking for. And that bottom guy comes, is automatic down to our post player, okay? And then we're making that 5 guard, the high block, the high post, okay? And then get down there for a closeout. And then we want to try to catch and rip and beat him there. If we don't have that, we'll have this guy flashing a little bit, or we have our backside guard trying to get into a window. Semi-live here. All right, if he doesn't get there, we'll go baseline and have action. And then we'll also have a kick to the guard here on the drive. All right, so here's an action that we get sometimes, especially when we have 2 post players in the game. So we get the ball to the short corner. We don't have the action. Okay, we'd like to post a step a little bit more to the ball there. But on a kick out, it could be to either one of these guys. Since our high post player's diving anyway, we're going to continue the dive and pick that middle guy. So pick that middle guy, flash here. We've really distorted the zone here, and we have your choice of the guy flashing or the pin man on the backside. So that's an action that we've got some years. And again, we'll show you this in some game situations here. All right, if we do get the ball to high post, okay, this is where we got to get these guys flattened. Okay, so this is right here. We have the 5-man guard in our high post. If he does that, and we have the other side guy coming underneath, this backside forward is really a tough spot. Okay, is he going to guard that short corner guy? Is he going to guard our guard that's now down into the corners? What you'll see a lot of teams will do is they'll take their 5-man to guard there, and then they'll take these top guards and they have to find our perimeter players. Okay, so if we can get this guy in the corner, we make that close out longer, and now we have a big closing out on the guard. Same thing on the backside. Terrible defense, but again, you'll see it against live here. All right, here's our low post player coming all the way through now. Doesn't get it, but we get the ball to the corner on a pass. All right, he's down there, and we get the little high-low. And from there, again, he can come through. If he does decide to pass it up high, we'll have that screen on the middle guy and a flash through. One area where we've really seen the weakness in the zones when it gets to the high post, these guys, these top 2 guards are really taught to try to find shooters. And from the top back out to the high post, to the back to the high top, okay, it's been a great area for it to get shot, especially if this guy has a little bit of range. You see this top guy is open all the time, and this high post guy will catch, he'll look, and he'll forget to just toss it back to our shooter up top. That's just our high-low if we get that action. Another thing we'll do is, sometimes out of 4 out, sometimes out of 3 out, we'll just do our cutters. Our cutters rule is you got to cut and you got to hold for one more pass. Okay, so we have our point guard's cut, he's holding, one more pass, then you can get out. What we'd love to do is get out to areas where the guys just came from. So Adam came top, the point guard can fill up this area, and again, create a closeout. If it were to go here, and the bottom guy came out, his automatic read would be to that short corner. He was slow to come out, we didn't make a very good read on that. That's just some of our cutter stuff right there. Okay, so we do the dribble entry where we do the loop. Okay, we also have a push series where instead of him come looping through every time, he'll just go to the corner and we'll see if we can get our strong side short corner here. So instead of looping, he's going to stay home with the backside guy flash. We have this high-low here maybe. If we do go there, his rule on a pass is to get out from the post. And we have this action here. Clear it, post screen, curl, pin down. So here's some actions. We play Cascade is in our conference. We play them twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year in the tournament. And they play the best 2-3 zone that I've seen at any level. And they're very famous for their 2-3 zone. We play them early in the year, and in one aspect it's very tough to get ready for them, but in the second aspect, it's really forced us to have our zone offense ready to go. And we kind of feel if it works against Cascade, it can work against other teams. So this is an action of a drag dribble from the wing. Okay, and if our post sees a guy dribble from the wing to the top, okay, he's going to flash that open area. Now, if he can shoot, okay, it's even better. But this is kind of an action where we have a drag it to the top. He's going to flash. The bottom guy comes up and gets him. Okay, we're going to have a closeout on the bottom. Closeout. Now it's a athletic point guard against their big. All from the drag dribbles. And you see our opposite high post player. He's ready to move. Okay, if he does get it passed out, he'll be there for the screen. This happened to be a pretty athletic kid for us. We wanted to make sure we got him on their center as much as we could. Again, we take our best driver and put it by their slowest guy in some areas where we think we can get layups. Here's our dribble entry. Okay, and just that action of flashing here gets these guys' radars up, and they're going to have to attend to it, and opens up that middle to get him open. All right, look how open this guy is. Now we make a bad read here and try to go on the high-low, but his backside job is, again, inside of this guy for a high-low. All right, and if he fights to the inside, there's just no one over here left to guard this player. We make a bad read for a pass there and let the officials make a call. You can see how that dribble entry just opens up the middle. One step by this guy here looking to be aggressive. And we got basically anything we want on the backside. Here's where we go hot. We call hot. We're just hitting 4 guys on the perimeter. Okay, and we're passing it around 3 or 4 times just to get the defense to move until we dictate who's going to get in the high post. This also allows our big a chance to post up a little bit one-on-one. We need to give him the ball right here, but watch him pick his spots to kind of just get chest to chest and turn and seal him here. Yeah, it's got to be a post entry. We do a bad job there. Dribble entry, ball to high post. Again, we have closeout opportunities. That's the area I'm talking about. Not being high post, not being low post, that mid post area against the zone where it's soft, where again, now we have our best driver against maybe their worst guy on his feet. And the dribble entry. Now we just get Zach makes a good read here. Just in some cut and hold, 4 out. Finally get our post player matched up one-on-one. If you're looking for a good zone out of bounds play, it won't always be this open, but here's a pretty good one. Get a shooter here and a shooter there. Get your post stealing in here, and then this guy is typically wide open. Won't always be that wide open, but you get it a couple times a year. It's just our 4 out, trying to get him post up on the inside. So this is our 4 out dribble entry. Really occupying here. We could have a flash unless he sees that we have some post. But we're really looking right now to get our ball into our big inside. So we're just kind of 4 out, trying to get him one-on-one. We just don't finish. Another high drag dribble. One-on-one. Just a tough defend for the middle guy there. Here we got a step. We're dribbling, and now our big is stepping to the open area from this dribble from the high. All right, so if he comes, okay, we could have a flash right there. We stay home again, and we really just put this backside defender in a bad way. If we drive left, we're going to pick on the other side wing. If we drive right, we're picking on the left side wing. So dribble over here. We're going to put 10 in a tough spot. We got a nice little fade screen. But he had to guard a post, get fade screen, and get down there. We had a good backside cut, ran our open action, drives middle. We make a nice read. There's nobody over here since our post did a good job of occupying 2 or 3 guys. And I really think, there's nothing more demoralizing to a zone team than getting layups. You know, threes are great, but they'll come and go. But if you can get layup after layup after layup against a team that's running a zone, you really get them thinking about what they're doing defensively. Some of our high-low, you see our post working there on the catch, going right from rim to rim. Some more dribble entry. Again, if he comes with our good shooter, we'll have whatever we want, high-low wise. And this 15's in a tough spot. If he doesn't stay there and defend him, he's going to be wide open on this other side. Here we are on the state tournament. We got some good action here. We didn't get the layup out of it, but dribble entry. Okay, we're dribbling out. This is our best shooter coming high, so he's got to go with them. Okay, then we get a backside flash. This time he didn't go with them. We got the shot. So you really got to, if you have a guy that can shoot, they don't go with him here. He stays home. Look at that. Here's a 1-2-2 look from a school running a pretty good 1-2-2 zone last year. And this is our head tap series. Okay, so what we'll do here is we're looking to hand it off a couple times just to get them moving, and we'll have one of our post players will flash in that open area after the second handoff. And then we'll do it after 1 handoff, 2 handoffs, 3 handoffs, so flash from a different area. So the handoffs is our head tap call, but who goes and how many handoffs will change from game to game or till a matchup that we want to get. So here we're going 2 handoffs to our 5, and they collapse on him. We make a good read on the backside. We really want to throw that thing up on our handoff. We got guards here and a big guy flash him. Just throw it up nice and high to him so no one gets it. Here's a little counter set to that, the handoff action. We're going to bring the backside shooter through, and we're just going to screen this backside guy and see if we can get him towards the basket. So handoff, maybe they think handoffs or head taps coming. Again, the more layups you can get against the zone, the better. Here's some more of our head tap. Head tap works great against a 2-3 or a 3-2. And he had anybody open, but he wanted here. I mean, he's got this guy crashing. He's got this guy open. I mean, look at all 5 of these guys watching the ball right here. And I just found, like, when you throw the ball up, it just, these guys engage. They stand up right now, and he just has whoever he wants. This is a matchup zone. So sometimes the same principles don't work as well in the matchup zone. They won't, the backside is not as vulnerable. But here we have a head tap, and we're just going to keep the bigs there and bring our backside guard on this head tap. And if you get a matchup zone, you got to drive the ball. You got to. Another head tap action. Don't hit the shot, but we get pretty good action on this. This is against our 2-3 zone again, or the matchup. This is just a drag dribble from the corner. All right, so we're passing the wing or the corner. He drags it high again. This action right here is just really soft in the zone. Another good area. This is just our cutters. He just finds a good area, finds that mid-post area, and they have a hard time guarding this guy here. Will just get himself down in that mid-post. And it's just a cut, a steal in the mid area. Okay, another drag dribble. So he just takes 3 or 4 dribbles from the corner, opens that area, and we got a guy cutting into the area that we just left. Just creating closeouts. All right, this is some ball screen. You really have to scout what teams do on ball screen. There's so many ways for zones to defend ball screens. So you really have to see how they defend it and practice it leading into the game. And then make sure you always, and it seems common sense, but I mean, it just took me forever, and that's just, I'm not as smart as others, but you got to make sure you have your counters ready to go in ball screen, okay? Because ball screens become more prevalent, and teams are going to have 1 or 2 or 3 ways they defend ball screens. Make sure you have your counters ready to go. Okay, so your first play, make sure you take advantage of how they defend it, and then be ready to go with your counters when they make adjustments. So right here, a lot of times, this guy here in the zone will be told not to come help. Okay, and if he doesn't come help, this guy's got to turn the corner and get into that area. Okay, the best teams in zone this guy will be here, so he has to pull it out, and he's allowed to guard those backside guys. Okay, so our guys got to know, all right, is he staying or going? If he's not going to stay, we got to force him into coming when he doesn't want to. But here, the matchup, he didn't come. Zach got downhill, and then now they got 4 guys guarding the ball. Watch that all the way through. Great job of drawing all those guys. All right, so now they did a better job of getting through that, and now we have 3-on-2 on the backside. He goes under. He didn't beat him the spot. Quick movement. All right, this time we keep a guy in the corner. This is kind of our counter. They got caught ball watching. If we get this pin back here, okay, he's got to go. He's got to go. We have a backside flash. Just a good job here of stepping. Our player here is on that post. The ball gets passed to his edge, and he gets out. Create space. Close out to space. Rip and go. Here is looking to attack a transition. That's something we didn't talk about very much. We got to attack, get downhill in a transition. There's a good job of running through. They take away our stuff here. We don't get the ball reversed the way we want, but our big does a great job of finding the soft spots. We love that area. We love that area. There's just an example of throwing it right back out quick. It's kind of our hot. He doesn't do a good job of closing out. We get a shot. Again, this is if you see a team with matchup zones, okay, the more you can run underneath and not let them just sit in a regular zone. I mean, number 3, 4 guys running all over the place here. Here's our cutters against the matchup. Good backside flash, backside post. And another example of finding post to post, under the basket, making this big guy defend. And we got a flash right in that mid post area. 3 guys on the ball, whatever we want on the backside. one thing that, kind of the old school philosophy, you take a look and say, you got to pass, pass, pass. But I really think you got to utilize the dribble in good ways against 2-3 zone. And you see, guys, we get a few drives into the gaps here, collapses that defense, and we get a shot for one of our better shooters. And double drive that same gap, and we get wide open shots. And this time we can kind of get a little bit of everything. We get a ball screen downhill, we get a drag dribble, we get a soft area. And again, this is just all motion. This is not a call that we've made. This is one of our later games in the year, and teams have played a zone about 90% this year. And so our guys are just ready to go with our zone motion calls. Great backside flash. We just make this big guy guard in too many different areas. And that's just our point guard slipping in. But we're in hot right now. So if we're, he's number 2 right here. Say we're hot 2. Okay, he's going to decide when he wants to get in the high post. He's going to pass it around, and he can flash from there. He decides to flash early. He's being dynamic through that high post area. Here's a nice little drag dribble. Okay, so we start in the corner. This is a push. We push him down, drags it high, open area. He has this guy here if he wants to go. But now we've created closeouts on the backside as well. Using the dribble to attack. Working through the middle. It's a good job of our wings getting low on a high post catch. Like if he stays right here, okay, it's gonna be really easy for him to guard. But the further distance he gets, and now he makes it in a closeout situation. Here's some good action. This is a call of ours. We want to get a post touch. Okay, it's kind of a fake ball screen here. And what we're trying to do, this guy's trying to get through, all right, and they do a good job of kind of bumping us off our cut here. But it's a fake ball screen just to isolate him for a second and letting him kind of maybe fall asleep. And we drag it to open area, and now we're really putting this guy in a tough spot. This is our best shooter right here. And so when he comes this way, I mean, he's in a tough spot. He gets buried down below, and we can get whatever we want at this point. Just got a couple more clips. It's kind of a crazy shot, but it still goes with our zone motion rules. Post partner gets it, okay, slide underneath. Here's that same play we ran in the first half. Now we knew they were going to counter with some extra help. Okay, so this is early in the third quarter. We figured they'd counter some extra help, and we get a shooter on the backside. And great action here. And this is nothing fancy at all. Okay, but just a great job by this wing of sticking to our principles. when the bottom guy comes, we'll get a layup. So that's kind of some things that we have. Our offensive philosophy. Again, it takes a lot of scouting to get those set plays up and going. But I think the more that you can run zone in your open gyms, your summers and your falls, get you guys more comfortable with it. I think as a coach, you need to embrace the fact that there is a lot of value in zone defense. And if you're just constantly belittling the other coach for playing zone, I think your guys feed into that and they don't concentrate as much when they attack it. So I'm at Camanche High School, easy to find on social media. If you have any questions, you want some more clips, feel free to reach out and find me. But again, Josh Davis, Camanche High School, and hopefully you guys all get a lot out of these clinics this fall. Have a great season.